Creatures of the night, it's your girl Tati. Let's talk about AEW Dynamite. We had a interesting episode. I am not sure how I feel about the episode. What I would say is that it felt like time went by really quick, and it also felt like there was more talking than wrestling tonight. We also had the international so basically there's like a tournament going on for who's going to face Kenny Omega for the international championship at Wrestle Dynasty. I think they announced this either today or maybe yesterday, but I found out about it today. So we started off with those matches. Now, we just start off with Kenny Omega, who came on out there with the title, and honestly, I love Kenny, but I'm still a little disappointed that Kenny, ended up beating Takeshita for the title. He comes on out there, everybody and their mama is crying and happy for Kenny. He had, that issue with his intestines, and he was gone for over a year, and he's back, and he already has a title, and he is saying that, he didn't know where he would be, and that he thanks everyone for supporting him, all these lovely things, and then ends up talking about the tournament that they're going to have. So, after Kenny Omega goes on out there and does his thing, talking, here comes Trios action. Because as Kenny is making his way to the back, it's Shibata, Hook, and Samoa Joe that are coming out to do their match that is up next. And Shibata and Kenny kind of have a little bit of a stare down, and that's because Shibata is one of those people who's going to be having a match against Ricochet on Saturday to qualify to moving forward to possibly going against Kenny Omega for the International Championship at Dynasty. Now, this was a quick win for the Ops going against a local talent. Honestly, there's nothing to watch here. But after the match, we do get a backstage promo from Ricochet, who I was surprised to actually see be back so soon. He wasn't a sore loser. He lost against Swerve, but he's back and he's moving on to other things. He said he didn't want that ugly-ass embassy robe anyway. And he didn't even want that title from Moxley. And then he thinks that the international title will look good on him. So he's going for that, and he's going to beat Shibata's ass to make sure he gets it. Now, after this, Swerve is doing a promo backstage. This was after the pay-per-view on Sunday, and he's talking about how he was the first AEW Black World Champion, and he won that at Wrestle Dynasty last year. So at Wrestle Dynasty this year, well, not Wrestle Dynasty. It's not Wrestle Dynasty. It's just Dynasty. Whatever. At Dynasty this year, he's going to end up winning the championship again, and he calls out Jon Moxley, say, "Bitch, I'm coming to get that title from you at the next pay-per-view." Now, Uncle Adam Copeland, who's back there after his match with Jon Moxley, who comes over to Swerve and says, "Hey, I didn't just lose out there. I went out there and Christian got involved, and he's the reason why that whole thing got thrown off, blah, blah, blah." Excuses. And, when he ends up beating Jon Moxley, that at some point, he'll end up taking the Swerve to the title off of him, whatever foolishness, because then they go, listen to this, y'all, then they go and announce that Moxley and Uncle Adam's going to be having a rematch for the world title. I couldn't even believe it. After the commercial break, Jon Moxley comes on out there and basically confirmed the whole damn thing, and how he underestimated Adam Copeland and all this foolishness or whatever, but they're going to have a rematch. I cannot even believe it. As much complaints as I've seen on this internet just the past few days about, the main event, I wouldn't call it the worst match that I've ever seen or anything like that. It wasn't that bad. That match following up 3 of the best matches of the card, which is not a good placing for it. And then the way things ended in that match wasn't really a good payoff either. So people didn't like it. And the best way that we can respond to people not liking something is by running it back again. I'm over it. After this, we do have Jalisco teaming up with Brian Cage to go against Hologram and Powerhouse Hobbs. What are we doing? This is so weird. Jalisco has somebody who has his brother in Beast Mortos who actually came on out there that he could be tagging with. Brian Cage also has a tag team partner. This was very like, we're just mixing shit. We're just doing shit and just putting people together for no reason. Hobbs can be tagging with anybody. Hologram has Commander that his tag partner. I don't know what this whole thing came about. Harley Cameron was out there dressed up as Harley Graham. She was even out there flirting with Beast Mortal. I'm like, get this girl away from my man. Why is she all up on him like that? Very interesting. The match was okay. At this point, it felt very random, so I couldn't really get behind it. So didn't really care too much for it. Obviously, the baby faces end up taking the win. If Hologram is on somebody's team, you already know that Hologram is going to end up taking the win. So the predictability is fucking killing me. It really is killing me. Like, I do feel like I understand that bookers, they want things to go a certain type of way, but it's just like, am I supposed to always believe that these set of people, these certain people are always going to win every single time? Like, they're just like Jesus Christ on earth. Like, there is just no way that they are making some of these wrestlers look perfect. And honestly, I am kind of sick and tired of it. Hologram, them end up taking the win. I'm so over it. We do end up having, basically, what was his name? Lance Archer came on out there. Who else came on out there? Bandito. So whatever the situation is, they all come on out there, and it's just like, well, where were y'all all this time? I don't care about this. I honestly, you want to go watch it? Go ahead and watch it. Really, not really worth the watch. After this, we have backstage MVP who has put the Hurt Syndicate on vacation. Which is interesting since they've only had 2 title defense. What the hell y'all going on vacation for? Y'all need to be reigning defending champions. So come on back to the show. We also get a promo from Tony Storm after they show some of the footage from their match, which was a really great match. If you didn't see it, go ahead and check it out. And a long story short, Tony Storm is basically letting everyone know that, hey, she won. The story continues. She's going to be moving on to other characters within AEW, and that the women division is the best women's division within the world of professional wrestling. She mentions other wrestlers without saying their names, referencing to like Athena and to Mercedes, and how she'll end up getting her hands on them and whooping their asses too. Basically letting everyone know that the champ is still the champ. Now, when she's done, here comes someone attacking her. It's Megan Bayne, which I was very surprised to see. Megan, who's only had like 5 matches within AEW, and most being squash matches, I don't feel like has done anything yet within AEW to qualify to even put her hand out and touch our champion. So for me, I'm not with it, but we'll see what ends up going on from here. If they were going to build something for Megan to be going against the champion, she's never said a word on the damn show, and she's only had pretty much squash matches. She looks like she could beat Toni Storm, yes, but you still have to convince people that she can by what she's done so far, and I don't think anybody's convinced, not yet. So now we're back from commercial break, and we're having our first AEW International Championship #1 Contender Dynasty Elimination, whatever they call it. And Beast Mortos is here. Beast Mortos is going against some wild card. We don't know who this person is, and it turns out to be Mike Bailey. Oh my God. And at that moment, I just knew it was over. I knew it was motherfucking over. And this was a great showing for Mike Bailey. I thought someone like Beast Mortos, they always have him around to get the best out of people, but he's just not good enough to be taking the wins where it actually matters. And Mike Bailey, I'm happy he's with us. I did say we were full in AEW, but I will only make the one exception for Mike Bailey. But while we're bringing new people into the company, I really don't want those who are working hard, those who are really great wrestlers, to just be cast out into the shadows. And to be honest with you, this is what I've been feeling about Beast Mortos. Beast Mortos, you're not in the shadows when it comes to me. You in my heart, baby. I love you. However, in terms of him and being part of AEW, something about it, I'm not liking how they're using him at this point. He's being used to help get other people over. And honestly, I'm not cool with it. Yes, Mike Bailey ends up taking the win. Great debut for Mike Bailey. We'll see what ends up happening with that, because if you really think of it, I don't know if they will pass up an opportunity to give you Mike Bailey versus Kenny Omega at Dynasty. So let's see what ends up happening with the rest of the tournament. So now we have problems, family problems. Our stepdaddy back there pretty much making excuses in terms of why he wasn't successful at cashing in. Renee over here asking questions, and he's just like, get the hell up out of here. You already have your husband in the situation. Why would I want you to interview me? She ends up leaving, and he's doing all the talking about why he couldn't successfully cash in at the pay-per-view. Now, while he's talking, Nick Wayne, of all people, has interrupted him and told him to stop making excuses, and that they had a plan that they were supposed to execute, and for whatever reason, Christian ended up doing his own thing, and that's the reason why he didn't get to cash in successfully. Now, when I tell you, our stepdaddy was mad as hell, even got up into Nick Wayne's face to the point that their nose were touching, basically saying how he should have left him where he found him, and how he's been so successful. He can't say the same thing about his biological father. And even when Mama Wayne tried to get in there, he basically said, well, he did say that you better back the fuck up, or else I'm sending you back to the Waffle House where I found you. And to be honest, that right there, well, that was kind of crazy that he would say something like that. But to be honest, I'm not liking, I don't care that everybody in the group is arguing or whatever situation, because Kip Sabian was back there quiet as a church mouse. They didn't even want us stepdaddies to even know he was there. But the thing is, for me, is that now that the whole thing failed with Christian, like, what happens now? Like, something about it feels a little strange to me. I wish actually that it was a successful cash in, but I feel like we're probably going to get right back on the drawing board when it comes to our stepdaddy. Something about this I'm not liking right now about what they're doing with Christian. Long story short, we do have MJF. He's so cute. I don't care what anybody says. I think he's cute. But his tanning people, whoever is doing his tan, I don't know who it is, they are not having him look good out on TV at all. He just looks horrible. Like, his tan is very uneven. His face looks really dark. His hands are really light. This is TV we're talking about, and I really do feel like if you're going to be on TV, try to look the best you can. If it's something that's about you that you just can't control, then sure, but tanning you can control. You're out here looking just as dark as me, absolutely insane. Now, while he's talking, he does get interrupted by MVP, which was interesting. They actually kind of stared each other down and end up hugging each other. Apparently, they knew each other from when MJF was 18 years old, and MJF had offered to take him driving for free, as just so he can get some information in terms of what it's like being in the wrestling business, which is a good thing. Now, long story short, because I felt like this ran a little long with all the other talking that we had throughout the night, MVP is saying how he's so proud of him for what he's been able to accomplish, but he's disappointed about how things been going with him and Hangman, and that he's going to need some help. And he even gives MJF a Hurt Syndicate business card. Now, MJF is just like, the fuck, and he doesn't take it. But then he ends up taking it. He looked like he's thinking about it. Now, for those of you who's just like, wait, what? No, the requirements doesn't seem like you have to be black to be in it. But even though with that tan, MJF is looking very much close to being black. It's interesting because I think a lot of people have thought that there were other people who would possibly be in this group before ever even thinking about MJF. So for me, I don't know where the story is going, but if they were to recruit MJF to be part of the Hurt Syndicate, I wonder if this would be a good fit for him. MJF, I feel like, is more of a lone wolf type of guy. They have tried to set him up with other factions and with other people, and while he works well with people, I don't feel like putting him within a group has truly worked out for MJF. So it's a no for me for joining the Hurt Syndicate. All right, so Max Caster, once again, with the Max Caster Challenge, whatever the hell he calls it. Basically, he's ready to get his ass whooped by someone else. And he's just thinking that some local talent probably going to come out or whatever. And it's Takeshita. Takeshita come out red hot, okay, damn near running to the ring to fight. And Max Caster is trying to convince him that he doesn't he doesn't really want to fight him. You know, you could take that out on someone else, because if you fight me, then I'll hurt you. And literally took 2 moves for Takeshita to fold his ass up. Now, with the very first time that he even puts a finger on Max Caster was laid out. Referee's counting to 3. Takeshita stops to 3 so that he can continue to put a beat down on him. But he only goes for I think, what is it called? A Raging Fire, some shit like that. And that was it. That was it for the win. Honestly, not enough to me. Takeshi, you should have been so mad that you should have beat up Max Caster so we don't see him for quite some time. That's what I would have done. But he ends up walking away. He looks like he's stopping. He's thinking about, should I go back and beat this motherfucking ass up or what? But he doesn't, and he ends up walking away. Whatever. Up next, Penelope Ford versus Willow Nightingale. A really great matchup between these two. I really like the fact that they're using Penelope quite a bit. I do feel like the booking's a little weird for Willow Nightingale. And they did a really great job here. Now, Willow Nightingale is going to be going to Japan this weekend. I don't know how long she's going to be there for, but since I knew that, I figured they're going to write her ass off TV. And sure enough, here is Penelope getting into it with Willow after the match. Statlander comes out for the save, and just when it seems like, well, you know what? Willow didn't really seem to be happy about Statlander being there, and before they can even talk about anything in the middle of the ring, here comes Megan Bain to take both their asses out. And there we go. We just rid off Statlander and Willow for the 1000th time again. So, like I said, Willow's going to be going to Japan, and I'm not sure about Statlander, but I keep feeling like we're saying the same shit over and over again when it comes to Willow and Statlander, and these two girls are probably one of the best that they have on the roster, and I feel like we have not even scratched the surface with what could be done with Willow and Statlander. Honestly, I'm kind of bored about that. After this, CEO, who is back there with Renee, she got beat up real bad by Momo at Revolution. She had bruises on her face. She got kicked in the throat, so it hurt for her to talk. While she's over here talking about her successful win at Revolution, Billy Starks comes back over there. Long story short, she wants to face her for the TBS title next week. And honestly, CEO is just like, girl, what? I don't do charity work. No way. But she ends up saying that, you know what? I'll go against you, whoop your ass. Billy Starks look a hot mess on TV. She look a hot mess on TV. That's all I can say about that. Billy Starks, I do feel like for a 19-year-old, she could do more than I can. I can tell you that much. But I don't feel like she's anywhere on a level to be going against CEO. I am dreading that match between the two of them because I have to watch Billy Starks every week on Ring of Honor. So now y'all going to have to see it too on Dynamite. I'm not looking forward to this at all. Up next, Will Ospreay. When we only got like what? Not even 15 minutes left of the show. Who has to come out there to talk about how he was texting and calling his missus, and how she didn't like how he was doing all those crazy spots and all that stuff and trying to convince her not to do this and that. I don't give a fuck what you texting your wife about. We don't care about. When I tell you this whole thing was just a waste of time, I understand that Will Ospreay is just this dude that everybody loves. He's amazing in the ring, but this promo was absolutely not needed. All for him to go on to say that after this whole thing with him and Kyle Fletcher is now done, I guess, that his eyes is set on going to All In to get a world title, and which is crazy because I feel like so many people has been looking at other wrestlers to go for the world title. Swerve, Hangman, Jay White, a whole bunch of other people before then. So for him, he's going to say that I'm going to be part of the Owen Hart Cup tournament. I'm going to win it, and I'm going to go on to All In so that I could win the world title. I can't even believe it. They kind of ruined the whole thing for me. My whole thing was to see Swerve and Hangman at All In for the title. Either one of them walking out with the championship is fine with me. But unfortunately, Will Ospreay don't came out there and just ruined the fantasy. After this, we do have, when we have like 5 minutes left to the top of the hour, Hangman and MJF back there meeting up with each other, pretty much just talking about nothing. I'm not gonna lie to you. I thought this was a horrible little spot for them to have. We're already rushing and when it comes to time, and I really felt like they didn't say anything of importance. We already know that their feud is going to be something that's going to continue, and here is Hangman, who's like, hey, you tried to lit me up the other day, light me on fire. You should have did it, and it's a problem that you didn't. For you, honestly, I didn't really care for this. Matter of fact, Bully Ray done posted saying that how he watched it and how he can't wait for Hangman and MJF to come to WWE so they can learn how to do promos. Lovely, Bully Ray. We love to get your opinions about pro wrestling. Main event, Hechiseto, so dreamy. He really is. Versus Orange Cassidy. This is also for the AEW International Cup #1 Contender Dynasty Eliminator blah 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 match, and I didn't like this. We already had like 2-3 minutes before the top of the hour, and while it pains me to say nice things about Orange Cassidy, I felt like there was a rush here. Like, they paid the overtime money, but they can't go that far into overtime. Hechiseto is better than that. Much better than that. Matter of fact, Hechiseto had one of the best matches for sure this year with Zack Sabre Jr. And that stuff is stuff that you wet your bed over. Not this thing that he did with Orange Cassidy. This is why I was saying, like, by the end of the night, you start to realize that it felt like there was way more talking over wrestling throughout the night. And by the time it came to the main event, it felt like something we had to throw on for like 8 minutes and just hope for the best and make sure that by certain time that the fucking cameras go out. And I didn't like that. It took away the quality of the main event for me. Obviously, Orange Cassidy ends up taking a win. I can't tell you how many people on social media was like, Hechiseto should win. He should win, and didn't win. Like, what would have been the problem with having someone who is not part of AEW to actually move forward? This is an international title that we're talking about. When Takeshita had this title, he was facing people who are not part of AEW, that were part of other international promotions. So it would have been okay for someone else who's not part of AEW to at least win this up until this point in the tournament. Now, after this, here comes Mike Bailey, who comes out all smiling from ear to ear, and just basically letting himself known right in front of Orange Cassidy. Orange Cassidy looking at him, and I'm just like, oh, okay. And that's how we end. The show was not bad. Something about I felt like it was way more talking than wrestling. Not my thing. Somebody else might like that, but I prefer to have seen a little bit more matches, more action, if you will. Y'all want to go ahead and check it out? Go ahead and check it out. It's just, I don't know. Something about it felt a little underwhelming for me. I'm expecting, well, hold on. I was about to say I'm expecting a better show next week. But Billy Starks is going to be in action with CEO, which I don't care to see. And then there's obviously the world title match with Adam Copeland and Jon Moxley. I am also not interested in that. So let's leave it up to Collision this weekend to see what great show we'll end up getting with that. You guys, thanks for watching my review. I'll be back tomorrow with the Ring of Honor. See you guys then. Bye.